Hello, welcome to the One I Have Spare Time podcast. My name is Frank, and I'll be sitting here talking to you for a few minutes. As usual, I'm wearing clothes. I'm wearing a black pink pullover. Got it off of Amazon. Cost a lot of money. Um, well over $5. Anyway, in the background, we have Chaeyoung from Twice. Um, I figured we should have her in the background just because I think the biggest K-pop controversy right now is G-Dragon and the clothes he wears, and then she's gotten controversy, quote unquote controversy, twice because of something she's worn. And I like I like how she handled the controversy. She just said sorry, and that was it. Like she didn't even mean it because she didn't because she wore like a QAnon shirt, and that's a shirt that her stylist had her wear, and she doesn't even know what it means. Like I have a QAnon shirt too, but like a lot of people associate that stuff with Trump, but you know, they associate anything that's not, you know, Democrat, whatever, with like Trump. So, and also, there's nothing wrong with being associated with Trump. Um, it actually made me like her more, and I actually bought the same shirt that she got in trouble for wearing. But anyway, people are stupid. And then the other shirt she got in trouble for was there's a Sid Vicious shirt, and so punk rock. The essence of punk rock is to do the opposite of social norms. So back when the Sex Pistols were, big, and I believe that was in the 70s. But I don't know the exact year, which I should know, but let's see. I used to have, well, they only have one album. Well, if they do have more than one album, it's the same songs over and over. Um, okay, yeah, so they started in 1975. Okay, so yeah, this the 70s, but like being punk rock means you do the opposite of the social norms. So that's why you used to see like a lot of punk rockers wear suits, except maybe they like ripped the sleeves off or like the pants would flood, but it was just to, you're mocking the blue collar worker, like you're mocking the sheep that that does the same office job for 20 years. And so you're trying to make punk music be associated when you see people wear a suit and tie. And there's a lot of people. If you see someone wearing a suit, their first thought is punk. Actually, so it worked. But anyway, Sid Vicious would wear a Nazi symbol. Now it's not because he was racist. It was because it was the complete opposite of what was socially acceptable. Obviously, um, especially in Europe. Well, of course, in Europe, 99% of the people that live in Europe don't like the Nazi symbol because of what happened in World War I and II. Um, so he would wear it because it was like culture shock, and so she was wearing a shirt that had Sid Vicious on it, and Sid Vicious was wearing uh, a tank top that had a Nazi symbol on it, and you know Chaeyoung has no idea what that shit means. She's just wearing a shirt, right? And so there are people attacking her because it was on her Instagram. And, they're really trying to make a big deal about this, but she just said sorry and took it down. And then people kept trying to make a big deal about it, but she never addressed it again. And that's how you handle controversy. Because it doesn't matter how many times you say you're sorry. It's never good enough. But then once everyone realizes, well, she's just, she's not going to address it anymore, they went away. And then also you have to realize Twice is probably one of the most popular groups on the planet. And so they have enough fans to drown out the anti fans. And also, you have to realize that most people don't care. The people who do cancel culture, they're a very vocal minority. Very vocal minority. And you have to remember, it takes a lot of energy for those whatever, like 5 people who post 100 times, because like that's how X is. It's like I forgot the exact statistics, but it's something like 10% of the users make 80% of the content or post. Because it's just an unemployed person with nothing else to do who can post 300 times a day. So I mean, that's just what it is. But and then you have to realize a regular person, like especially a guy, um, if a guy likes a K-pop group, it's usually a female group, and it's usually because he just wants to sleep with the girl. Like the only reason why I like Che is because I want to fuck her. That's why when I first started the when I have Spur Time podcast season 1, she was the picture on all the videos, because I was like, yeah, you know what? I should make each season a girl that I want to have sex with. Um, so it's sad. Like I know nothing about her. I know nothing about Twice. I mean, like I know the members' names, but and I like some of their songs, but I don't care about any of their political opinions or what they have for breakfast. I just care about like 4 of the members were really hot. You know, it's that simple. If every member of Twice came out and was like, we got to save the whales and stop using oil, I wouldn't care. I would do what I'm doing now. I would turn the sound down and have them being played in the background as eye candy so I can talk about bullshit. Okay, so yeah, so someone asked me to make a video, or they suggested I should make a video about about the UFO files that the government released, and how they're really just a distraction from the Epstein files. And I was thinking to myself, uh, my life hasn't changed um, because of anything, any file the government released or didn't release. Um, so like it's so like when the Epstein files got, quote unquote, the files got released, I wasn't like, my life didn't stop and I'm like, the files, I'm just focused on the files. And then and then the government's like, wait, we better release something else to distract this person from the files. And then they release whatever, Iran war. I'm like, oh wait, I forgot about the files, now I'm just focused over, like, no, no one cares. The government is not. How are you distracting anyone from anything by releasing files when a smart person, or just a person with common sense, nothing the government does, like, you don't care about it. Like, I think because of COVID, you lost a lot of people, and you lost them mentally. So So basically, like, I mean, I already knew this, but a lot of people learned. Oh, so the government doesn't mind lying to you. The government, so or like think about the Biden laptop. Obviously, the government doesn't mind lying to you. So that's why when I hear people say distraction, I'm like, you shouldn't be paying attention in the first place because it's not true. I mean, like, how many times do you have to be lied to before you stop listening? This is why when I hear people say distraction, it just blows my mind. I'm like, what are you just distracted about? Why are you even paying attention? Or even like the when they were saying that Russia um is the reason why Trump won the election. That's not true, but for years the government was lying to you. So like just those examples alone, why would you believe anything from the government? And then there's other examples from like what was it in the 80s when the government when the CIA put a bunch of a crack in the inner city, and then they changed the law where like crack was a federal offense and like cocaine was still a misdemeanor, something like that. Like you got to look that up. But anyway, the government did do that. So so that was back like in the 80s. So I mean, why would you trust the government like when they're doing stuff like that? So I'm saying like it doesn't have to be something recent. Like the government has done stuff throughout the years in every decade that is just a bold faced lie, heinous atrocities, and you're still paying attention to like stuff they say. So there is nothing to be distracted about. If you are paying attention to what the government says, you are an idiot. And if you are distracted by anything the government says, you are an idiot. And so I guess that's who we're talking about then, I guess. And all these things I said, just these few things I've said, the fact that there's no one out in the streets mad as hell protesting shows you that no one cares. But if you pay someone, they will go out and protest ICE, which to me that shows that no one cares. And remember, and the reason why I agree in saying I think the Epstein files is bullshit, and this is why. I mean, I understand, like, yeah, like there's sex trafficking, all that stuff, but I'm talking about when you have the victims of the Epstein Island thing, whatever. Every victim that I've seen interviewed on camera on live TV, they have never named one person that did something to them. All of them said the same thing. Yeah, we got to release the files. But none of them, like, I haven't heard one victim say, well, the ones that house book were dead. But I'm just saying, if it's such an atrocity, every victim I've seen except for one, when there's a camera in their face, I never heard one of them say, "Yeah, John Doe, um, he like kidnapped me when I was 16 or something like that." Like I haven't heard one of them mention one famous person except for that one lady who talked about like that what's his name, the one of the British royals, and I forgot his name because I don't follow it. But that woman died though because the they killed her. But I'm just saying, so no one is no one in power is protecting these women anyway. And so when you have, the one that did speak, was it like King Charles, or no, it was Charles's brother. And so, there's like pictures of him and stuff with the girls, but so like he got in trouble, but he actually got in trouble for releasing state secrets, not for the child abuse. So even that, even in England, he didn't, So I don't know. Like the whole point is the Epstein files. No one cares because there's no protest. There's no rioting in the streets. Okay, so if the government says something, it's not a distraction because no one cares. So like, we have to stop pretending. Like we live in a society where everyone is selfish. People are motivated by money, hence like the protests. The most protesters are paid, and that's a fact because we've traced back people who are funding the protests, and then there's video of people talking about getting paid, and then there's video of the people who's paying them or in charge telling them where to stand, what to say, giving them signs, giving them bricks to throw. Like it's very orchestrated, like all these protests. So like even the protests are fake, and then we know the protests are fake, but we still cover the protest. Like this, it just doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense. But yeah, so aliens, I don't care. The most logical answer when it comes to all these UFO files the government released, it's it's just a private organization that has, you know, advanced aircraft, and then like in 30 years, you'll see one of the branches of the armed forces will start using something that look like something that we're talking about now. It happens every time, just like with the stealth bomber. You had people calling in UFOs saying there's a triangle, there's a black triangle flying around, and then we find out like 5 years later, oh yeah, we have the stealth bomber. So that's the most logical answer. And then if people really want to say they're aliens, an even more logical answer is there is a breakaway civilization on Earth. So kind of like you have like those untouched tribes like in the Amazon forest or something like that. Okay, so imagine, because like humans have been around a long time. Imagine there's just a branch of civilization that just, let's just say, lives in Antarctica. Maybe that's why we can't go to Antarctica. There's just a civilization that's like a couple of hundred years more advanced than us, and they're flying around. Because it's kind of weird that we can't go to Antarctica. You know, and you can't film there. So there's, but that's more logical than there's aliens from the planet, whatever, on Earth. So those are my thoughts on that crap. But anyway, I've said enough. You guys have a good one. I'll talk to you later. Peace.